Good morning, everyone from sunny South Florida. We had our first major cold front come barreling through last night. The temperature dropped all the way down to 74, if you can believe it. Now it's up to 81 again, as usual down here. Our bees don't suffer much, to put it mildly. In fact, the girls behind me are bringing in some beautiful yellow pollen that they're getting mostly from the Brazilian pepper right now. A few other things as well, but we're in our little Brazilian pepper fall flow. It doesn't give us a whole lot, certainly nothing to collect, but you do have to keep an eye on your hives to make sure that they have room to put it, because otherwise these crazy girls can swarm in October, November, even December down here. And believe it or not, with a little bit of feeding, you can even make a December swarm make it through into late January so that they can start building up. But what we're here to show you today is the little awnings that I put over the entrances on the hives, because we get such horrific downpours during the summer down here. Our rainy season ended last week, but we get tremendous hard downpours, and the girls do appreciate a little extra protection just above their entrance. And I just want to show you how easy those are to make the way I do them. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find all kinds of elaborate stuff. I don't see the need for it. I was walking through Home Depot one day and I saw a piece of flashing like this in aluminum, 17 cents a piece. And I'm like, well, now that looks like an awning to me. I went back to get some more to make this video, and lo and behold, they didn't have any of the aluminum ones, but they did have this one in galvanized metal that's just the same. So I'll show you how to make it from this. And I'll also show you, since sometimes they don't always have the same thing apparently, here's a piece of galvanized aluminum, here's a piece of aluminum that we can use to make one of these as well.
Can you show the package?
I can show you the package on this one. I think this was about $2.50 for 10 pieces, 5x7 aluminum step flashing. But all that's necessary, however you choose to do it, and I'll show you several different ways, I'm simply going to make a mark on here, 3/4 of an inch. Why 3/4 of an inch? Because your hives are 3/4 of an inch thick. If you make this an inch, then they're overlapping over the top of your frames, and when you try to take your frames out, you're going to have, if you had taken your upper box off and this stayed in place, which is always a nice thing if it does, but if you took the box off and you were going to work those frames, you'd have to take it off manually anyway. But if you make it 3/4 of an inch and it happens to stay in place, you're ahead of the game. Now, the way I make these, I have this from Harbor Freight, which is just a lightweight aluminum bender. And all you have to do, find your mark, give it a little half bend, find your mark, give it a little half bend, find your mark, and you're done. You've just made an awning for your bees. And all you do is take your hive tool, flex up the side, slide it over the entrance, and you're good to go. It's just that simple. But well, what happens if you don't have one of these? Well, you can just take any old piece of 3/4 inch scrap wood. You can make a bend like this, just on a 3/4 inch piece of scrap wood. Look at that, I didn't even have to do any more than that to it. That's one way to do it. If you have a piece of old railroad tie or something and you want to just force it down like that, we're only talking 22 gauge aluminum here. So there's all kinds of ways you can make that bend with whatever equipment you have on hand. I have this mostly for working with the 1/8 inch hardware cloth that you use throughout beekeeping. because I like to, particularly on the small pieces, bend the edge over and flatten it down so that I don't have any sharp edges. $12 investment maybe for a tool like this. It's endlessly useful. But once you've made one of these, all you have to do pop up, pop down, and you've got an awning.
Can you do it again so I can get an angle?
Sure.
You were blocking me from seeing.
Okay. So once you've put this bend in it, you take your hive tool, you pop up an edge, slide it in, and you've got an awning.
And you have 2 or 3 on here.
Well, because I have both entrances open on the robbing screen, and I have the secondary entrance over there. And if you wonder why they're so busy on both of them, I have a sneaking suspicion that this hive actually is running a mother-daughter queen situation, because I've got 5 frames of brood over here, 4 frames of brood over here, and honey in between. So I think daughter just never left home.
But what I'm trying to say is you can double them up any way you need to.
Yes. I had to walk away because a guard bee was taking exception to my presence. We are working Africanized bees down here. Our girls are not as gentle as your girls other places. That's the end of this video. Hope you all have a good day. This isn't something you probably need to worry about until next spring if you're anywhere but here in South Florida. But have a good time, have fun.
Well, what a good time to work on your equipment.
Yes, it's a good time to work on equipment if you want to prepare some of these ahead of time. Bye-bye. Everybody have fun.